Welcome wherever you're watching us, from Africa to the world. And in our usual fashion, we love to bring to you people that matter, people that, they have the real gist from sports to everything. But today, we're coming to you straight from the office of a man who understands that our health and safety in terms of everything we do is key, it's paramount. I'll be talking to Mr. Edward Debrah this morning. He is the chief of Ed Consult Limited. I know you'll be wondering, Ed Consult Limited. Don't worry, that's why we are here today. By the time we finish, you would understand why we just needed to talk to this man. He's a brilliant, young, talented somebody, and I'll start by saying Merry Christmas to you, my brother. Thank you for opening your doors to us. It's not everybody that get the time, and I must say, a very busy person, because even this morning he said he was running around, but we cannot emphasize the need of our environment being safe enough. But why did you choose to take this particular path, the health and safety part?
Hi. Merry Christmas, everybody, all your viewers everywhere in the world. Health and safety, that's a tough one. It is often said that we learn lessons from experiences.
Yeah.
My love for health and safety started in 2013 when I started work.
Okay.
I was fortunate to have joined a company that decided to give me health and safety role.
Okay.
So it started from there. I got the interest in health and safety from there, and then along the line I decided to further develop it. Now, if you cast our minds back to June 3rd, 2015, I'm sure we all saw the disaster at Kwame Nkrumah Circle.
Yeah.
And the number of lives that were lost.
Quite a long time now.
Unfortunately. I felt, is there something I could do to sort of create the awareness of people to know that it is very important that we try to prioritize our health and safety. That led me to founding ED Consult Limited.
Okay.
ED Consult is basically a health and safety business that we are involved in trainings, we are involved in advocacy, we are involved in system management, system development, and we are involved in auditing and all of that. It's all part of ensuring that you put in the right structures in your organization to promote health and safety. Interestingly, good health and safety practice is actually good for business. I say this because of this. Assuming your staff are always asking you for a bonus at the end of the year. Now, whilst they are working, you spend a lot of money taking them to hospital because they are always getting accidents. How do you now make money to pay the bonus? Because whatever money you make goes into paying their hospital bills.
Yeah.
But if we decide to attach some seriousness to health and safety within the business, you would realize that the amount of money she would have spent on health, on maybe car maintenance and the like, will reduce. In that case, you can have enough money to pay bonus.
Yeah.
So we feel that health and safety is good for business.
Great. All right. It's understand, like you've just said, it's good to some of the companies. You've worked with so many companies. You've trained. I know you train because of the consultancy part of it. Tell us some of the let me say, some of the companies you've trained. How have you enjoyed it so far?
The interesting thing about training is once the leadership of the company decides that they want to have their staff trained, that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I've worked with quite a number of companies in the country so far, and individuals as well.
Yeah.
I've worked with, there's a big advertising company in Tema called White Beam Concepts.
White Beam.
I've worked with them. I've worked with Focus Hospital, Focus Orthopedic Hospital. In fact, Focus Orthopedic Hospital is one of a kind.
Yeah. I wanted to even come to that because I know recently
with bone issues and all of that. Okay. If you want to look at the topmost, the best on our continent, is Focus, and it's right here in Ghana, a few meters away from my house. They are not very far from here. So they contacted us to support them develop what we call the health and safety program for the hospital.
Yeah.
And as part of the process, we had to train some people. Now, the leadership of the business was so supportive to the point that they actually released every staff to be part of the training, because they believe once you have knowledge, they will do well in their jobs. If they don't have the knowledge, the mistakes that they've made in the past obviously will continue. By them trying to chart a new path and being a niche on the market, they decided that they contact us to support them in their trainings. That was a great job we did, and looking back, I'm proud of what we've been able to achieve with them so far. Apart from Focus, there are a few others. So there's a school at East Legon.
Okay.
That's before COVID came in, and when government asked that we should go back to school, the school contacted me to support them in their health and safety efforts towards returning to school. Then again, the leadership of that institution was phenomenal. The proprietress was there throughout the training and made sure that we even had an engagement session with the pupils or with the parents of the pupils. So quite apart from training the staff of the school, the leadership of the school ensured that parents of school children also came to be trained, to be given some awareness on COVID. So when their children are coming to school, they know how to prepare them to come to school, so that they can be sure in themselves that the school is safe and their kids are also going to be safe.
Right.
Even in churches.
Okay.
Even in churches. We did a lot of work for churches, and I would like to congratulate my pastor, Reverend Ismaila Awudu. He is the head pastor of ICDC Yahweh Temple, now the New Wine Temple. He gave me the opportunity to train the entire church workers and some of the selected staff of the church on how we return to church after COVID, because everybody got scared and they felt that there was a need to share knowledge to sort of allay the fears of people, so that people can actually come to church to still fellowship with God. So the standards we set from the time we returned back to church is still being continued today, and I'm proud to say I contributed to the success of that.
Great.
Apart from that, I've done bits and pieces of trainings, free trainings online, on Instagram, sometimes on Zoom, and all of that. And I feel that gradually it is catching on.
Great. Another thing that during my research, I was trying to find out that aside maybe organizations and stuff, if people want to have like one-on-one individuals, have you done any training individually, or is there room for you to train an individual? Maybe somebody wants to an MD or a higher person in anywhere says, okay, train me, and then I can train others. Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible. We call that train the trainer. Yes.
Train the trainer.
Train the trainer. That's how we call it. We do that as well.
Elaborate about.
Yeah, we do that as well. So individuals, most of the time we place adverts on our socials, on our Instagram, on our LinkedIn, on our website, sometimes telling people that we have training courses on offer.
Yeah.
I would like to also emphasize that I run trainings, mostly international training courses, that are certified by world-renowned bodies in health and safety.
Right.
So that's the trainings that we deliver are world class. It's a training that is the same everywhere you find it in the world.
Right.
So I'm proud to say that I'm associated with IOSH. IOSH is the largest professional health and safety body in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. And then if you look at some pictures that I have here,
great.
The first man you see here, Krefo, happens to be the former president of IOSH. He's my personal mentor.
Okay.
So you see, the boss also has a boss. It's my personal mentor.
Just train the trainer.
Yes.
So he trained you.
He's my personal mentor. We're still working together. And you see another lady here, Alison Hind. She's also based in Switzerland, a phenomenal woman who is into developing mobile applications for solving safety issues. They are all partners of ED Consult that we work together.
Right. So another thing is, with what you are doing, a lot of I have the perception that when it comes to health and safety stuff, our kids, they need to be taught certain things. What kind of, let's say, packages do you have for kids? Do you train children, kids, and what age?
This is very interesting. This is actually something that's something we plan to have a big program next year.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a tip of the iceberg.
Right.
So we are trying to partner a company in Switzerland.
Okay.
It's more like an NGO in Scotland. right?
Right.
That NGO is into creating safety mindset and safety awareness for children.
Okay.
Actually, from the ages of 3 up to about 12.
Right.
Because we feel that at that age, their risk perception is very low. When I say risk perception, I'm trying to talk about how they see danger and other things. It's very low. So we feel that if we catch them young, they shall be ours forever.
Sure.
So we are trying to work with a company in Scotland on this purpose. So the plan is from next year to approach schools.
Okay.
To do workshops for them, to talk to the schools about safety and all of that.
Yeah.
I happened to visit this company in Scotland and I was blown away. They have their space, okay, actually have a place for trains. So when kids are crossing the road and it's a rail station, the kids can hear the sound of the train when it's approaching and they know what to do in that instance. Same way the kids are exposed to vehicles. So when vehicles are coming, they know when to stop, when to cross, and all of that. Even in the kitchen, all those things, we are trying to educate them from a very young age. Because we feel that safety culture can actually improve and be better if we catch them young and break it down to their level.
Right.
One thing that also stands out in safety, if you ask me about challenging safety, is that a lot of leaders are not committed to safety.
Is it in Ghana or worldwide or Africa? Because you have touched different parts of the world in terms of safety, so
I wouldn't want to say Ghana,
okay,
but in Africa,
right,
most leaders are not committed to safety. They talk safety, but they don't walk safety. It is very nice them having nice words to talk about safety, that we are safety conscious and all that, but backing the words with action is always a challenge. How do you say you are committed to safety when you don't allocate resources for development of safety? That is, work done is zero. So if leaders begin to walk the talk and not just talk the talk, I believe it will help move safety beyond borders. It's very important. Because if you look at road safety statistics, for instance, in Ghana alone, this year, we have had more deaths on road safety.
That's this 2021.
Yes. A lot of people have died because of road accidents than COVID.
Wow.
Road accidents has killed more people than COVID this year alone.
Wow.
And most of the cases that happen, most of the accidents probably are not even reported. Because if it happens in the interior part, who is going to report to who? You get my point? Who is going to report to who? Same way. And even with the COVID, some people can actually get COVID and die at home because they didn't go to hospital for them to be diagnosed properly. Nobody knows. So even the data I'm talking about is even questionable. But from what we read, you clearly realize that a lot more people have died as a result of road accidents than even COVID. And it's still a leadership issue. Because if there's a clear direction, there's a policy direction that everybody is supposed to follow, I believe that it will help streamline things. And then
all right, so you just touched on the fact that the leadership mindset in regards to safety. What has been your role in terms of, have you met certain leaders, have you met certain people in high places and try to let them know this is what you think should be done?
Yes.
And what have been some of their responses, if you have?
Yes, I have met a few leaders on this subject matter.
Right.
And then the discussions are still ongoing.
Okay.
What I can say for a fact is that very soon there's going to be a lot of changes in our reforms and all of that. Because the leaders have equally learned lessons from some of the, I would say, challenges that we have faced as a country.
Right.
If you look at COVID, the way it created problems for us, just under 3 weeks lockdown, we also what happened. We had to obviously lift the lockdown for everybody to move about their duties. So what that means is that there's still a very fundamental challenge. Because other countries were able to lock themselves up for 3 months and then they were able to deal with the virus. So clearly that leadership constraint has been identified. Leadership is still trying their best to sort of turn things around, but it's not something that is going to take just a day to do. However, there's still a lot of capacity that has to be built. Because you really cannot do much if you don't know much. So what I've decided to do is that I've sent free voluntary training sessions to most of the ministries to engage their directors. On free safety trainings and all of that. I feel that once they understand what is happening, the risk it poses, they are better off making informed judgment and decisions towards saving the lives of people. But if they don't, obviously mistakes will be there, and consequences of the mistakes cannot be underestimated.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so you've mentioned road safety, you've mentioned hospitals, and these are places, obviously, people, when they talk of health and safety, quickly their mind. Your relationship with these people, like in Ghana here, how has it been? Or let's say outside Ghana, how's your relationship been with?
Oh, it's been good. I mean, it's been good. So what I'm actually doing is that I'm trying to capitalize on international best practice and replicate it locally.
Right.
Because I feel that's the only way you can make change. And then in the Western world, they don't have a perfect system, but they surely have a clear direction where they are going.
Great.
You get my point. In the UK, for instance, there is a regulator called the Health and Safety Executive.
Right.
They are the regulators for health and safety. And
so we don't have some in Ghana here, or not yet.
It's work in progress. in Ghana, it is work in progress.
Okay, that's a political.
Yes, in the UK, there's a health and safety executive that deals with every issue health and safety.
Yeah.
If you go to America, you have the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, what people call OSHA. They are also the regulators down there, and they try to chart that path. In Ghana, Ministry of Labor and Employee Relations are supposed to champion the cause of workplace health and safety and all that. They are doing their bit, but there's still much more to be done. So the responsibility now beholds on some of us to add our voice to talk to people about best practices. And I believe the more we hammer the point, it will eventually get home, and then everybody will begin to appreciate why it has to be the way it is.
So, I know, because I'm close to you, I know on the 12th of November 2021 in Lagos, Nigeria, Oriental Hotel, you were nominated for a particular award, and on behalf of Ghana, you picked up 2 prestigious awards. How do you feel about the awards you won? And tell us, because I don't want to just break it myself, but let's know how the whole experience was for you.
Right. Thank you for that. I feel that it's always very refreshing to note that our efforts are being monitored.
Yes.
And it's been appreciated. Yes. So AfriSafe is the largest health and safety awards on the African continent.
That's the Africa Safety Awards for Excellence. Okay, yeah.
AfriSafe. Yeah. It's the largest health and safety awards on the African continent.
Yeah.
And it has a reach of about 6 million people.
Wow.
It's all over Africa.
Over 6 million. That's over 6 million.
All over Africa. Even the globe. Because the judges that are supposed to lead the AfriSafe Awards are not picked from African continent alone.
That means that?
Yes, I know for a fact that this year the panel of judges, some came from the US, some from the UK, some from Africa, East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, everywhere. So it's, I'll say the Oscars of safety on the African continent.
Right.
And then when the entries came out, strangely, I didn't even nominate myself.
So other people nominated.
Other people nominated, yes.
That means it means all what you are doing, it's being noticed.
The impact is being felt. So I didn't nominate myself. I was there and I received an email that you'll be nominated for this so and so role. Can you tell us why you think you deserve the award?
Were you nominated because you picked up 2?
Yes.
Were you nominated for the 2 or you were nominated for more?
I was nominated for more, but actually came out tall within the 2 that I was.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was the Torchbearer Award.
Yeah.
And there was the Popular Choice Award. Yeah. Popular Choice Award happens to be the person who received the most nominations.
Wow.
Yes.
And we are fair to say on record that you were the only Ghanaian. Were you the only Ghanaian to be nominated and to win in this award scheme, or there were other?
I think there were other Ghanaians, but I was the one who was fortunate enough to win.
Okay.
Not to say the others who were nominated were not good, but I felt that because if you were nominated, that you were the single candidate that had the most nominations for Africa Choice Awards, then clearly there's something that I'm doing that is being felt right.
Yeah.
And then one of the judges told me that, hey, somebody nominated you, and the comment the person gave was, this guy always wants to give out. He doesn't want to take from people. He always wants to give out. He's always on his channels, sharing knowledge, supporting people, and all of that. And this comment actually came from somebody who lives in South Africa, not even my Ghana. You know, so for me, those awards are testament to the fact that we are doing something right.
Yeah.
And it's enough motivation for us to strive to do more. You know, to do more. So one place that I've identified that I feel needs a lot of attention is the informal sector.
Okay.
We talk about the carpenters, talk about the welders, talk about the artisans, the masons, and the like. They need a lot of push. They need to get a lot of education on these things to help them understand what is happening, you know, in the world of health and safety. All these guys, most of them are doing hand to mouth. They don't really know the effect of what they are doing on their families, on their lives, and the like. So it's about time that we decentralize, send the knowledge to them so that they can actually appreciate what is happening and know that they can do better going forward.
Okay, and one of the questions I want to ask is, how has Ghana fared, you know, in regards to, let me say, building a conscious atmosphere for health and safety? How has Ghana fared in it, and what are the, you know, moving forward?
That's a good question. Ghana, I would say it's still work in progress. Fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately, because most of the time health and safety people or health and safety actually is taken serious when an accident happens.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but that is not how it's supposed to be.
But even sometimes after it's said, they just bring some panel, we don't hear anything again.
That is the work in progress I'm talking about. The policy framework has to be clearly spelled out. Okay. Once there's a policy direction, it changes the entire scope of things, changes the entire game, and it gets better. So in Ghana, I would say we are trying our best. It's work in progress, not where we want it to be, but hopefully, but definitely there's been some progress made as it started. However, there's still more to be done. So the most important thing right now is for government to consider passing the health and safety bill currently before Parliament. If government passes this bill, it actually gives health and safety legal basis for it to be functional in Ghana, and I believe that would help change the entire narrative. Until the bill is passed, individuals can do their best to commit to safety, but if the bill is passed, obviously, like I mentioned, this thing rises and falls on leadership. If leaders decide that they are going to pass this bill, then obviously we would help. It would help change things. And if there's an avenue for government to even make more money, more money by way of fines, more money by way of registering businesses, more money by way of capacity building, more money by way of what's it called? Local manpower. A lot of things would happen that will support government to make money. Because you see or you notice that a lot of companies are still getting their staff injured, still getting their staff hurt. So if government passes the law, government will now have the legal basis to punish such people. Since you've been in Ghana and since you've been in Ghana, have you ever heard that an employer has been jailed for causing the death of his staff? No. Not in Ghana, but people die. Sometimes people get permanent disability as a result of work. Of course, there's no legal basis for all of this. It's not really working the way it's supposed to be. There is this institution called the Factories and Shops Division, Factories and Inspectorate Division. They are more or less, yes, it's in Ghana. They are more or less supposed to champion health and safety, but that institution is under-resourced. So I believe that, again, I'm still talking about leadership. If government is able to support Factories and Inspectorate Division, I believe they can carry out their mandate well, so that when we are going to work, we can be confident in ourselves that, we'll go and come back. It's not like you go and then you are not too sure whether you come back or not. So the family can believe that when daddy goes to work, daddy will come back in peace, not in pieces, you know. So until we get to that point, we can still try our best to push. And then I also want to commend some institutions in the country that are operating over and above the expectations of people. We talk of the multinationals in Ghana. because they are coming from different countries.
They
and
understand.
there are standards in those countries.
Yeah.
They are actually doing well to protect their workers at all times. However, most of the local indigenous businesses are also doing very well. I don't want to name names, but some of them are doing very well. Others too is wishy-washy. They really cannot be bothered like that. So if the policy frameworks are streamlined, it will help change the entire narrative, the perception, and then we put it on a good path for success.
Do you think in some countries, do we have health and safety ministry or a minister or somebody that we know that, just like maybe Bank of Ghana or maybe like in Ghana, I know we have the National Lottery, but do we have people like that in this particular sector?
Yes, Ghana, there are. In other countries, yes. In Ghana, unfortunately, not yet.
So what do you think can be done to have, because if we have such people, then we know that if there's any problem or there's somebody to hold accountable, what do you think can be done in that regard?
It still takes me back to the issue of the policy formulation and the legal basis of it. Once we pass the bill into an act, obviously they get the opportunity to set up maybe a health and safety authority or something like that. That would more like regulate health and safety activities in the country. At the moment, different regulators are trying to contribute their quota in their small way towards ensuring health and safety. I can talk mostly about the oil and gas sector. So we have the National Petroleum Authority, that is the regulator for the downstream petroleum industry. They are trying to enforce standards, they are trying to be a center of excellence, they are trying to train people, empower people, and all of that towards health and safety within the oil and gas downstream. If you go to the Environmental Protection Agency, everything about environment, its conservativeness, its being properly monitored and all of that is their mandate. They are also doing their bit to promote health and safety of the environment. Now you go to the fire service, they are also trying to prevent fires and help bring fires down and all of that. That's their mandate, they are so you can see clearly that different regulators are doing different things, right? But if we have a holistic regulatory body that is in charge of the entire health and safety in the country, what that means is that processes will be streamlined, standards of operations obviously will be streamlined, and we will have a clear path to chart to ensure that we achieve success.
I know your company is having this collaboration between your company and AppSave, right? It's in the pipeline. So let's throw some light on this whole initiative. I know maybe you didn't want to talk about it or something, but since we are here, the people who want to just something brief.
AppSave is actually the health and safety body in Scotland that I was talking about. So they are a childhood education health and safety institution. It's an NGO actually. We are trying to partner with them so that we will bring child safety education to Ghana from next year.
So before we round up, let's sum up Ed Consult Limited 2021 in a, how has business been? Do you think you've achieved what you set your heart to do? And what are the expectations, or what do you want people to expect from Ed Consult Limited in 2022? So from 2021, has been an expectation for 2022.
All right, so 2021 has actually been a good year. Despite the challenges. As I mentioned, health and safety actually thrives on incidents. When something happens, everybody now begins to sit up, begin to be serious, and things change. So 2021, because of COVID and all that, we did a lot of advocacy that got us, are quite out there. I was fortunate to have done a lot of media engagement in 2021. I visited UTV on 4 occasions. I visited Asasi Radio, I think about 3 or 4 occasions. I did TV3, I did 3FM, I did Instagram Live, several things online. I spoke with a lot of organizations globally and locally. I even was a guest lecturer at the UK university. I had to talk to them about how health and safety is practiced in Africa. So, and then I was also in Lagos to speak on health and safety. It's been a brilliant year, despite the challenges. It's been a brilliant year, and I feel that 2022 obviously is going to be better than 2021. But the most important thing is that whilst we are trying to enjoy our festive season, it is also very important we try to prioritize our health and safety, because we all know that there's an Omicron that has brought out its neck, that is causing more havoc than the Delta variant and all of that.
Yeah.
So possibly, if it's possible, this Christmas, let's postpone it.
Let's postpone Christmas.
Yes, now. Let's postpone the Christmas this year. What I mean is, all the social events that we will be attending, the parties and things, let's protect it, because we all have dreams to chase.
Yeah.
You don't want to die and then leave your dreams behind. So it's also very important that we look at that. But 2022, I know promises to be quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing more collaborations, looking forward to roll out new courses, new interesting courses. Right. And obviously, I started ED Consult from my bedroom.
Wow.
Obviously, this is my office that I set up, and you're actually the first person to come here. So 2021, obviously, we'll be launching our office properly, we'll be launching our business properly, and then I'm sure, it's going to be
great.
And so it also goes without saying that there's this woman who has been very phenomenal in this whole journey. Right? So she more or less discovered me in 2008. I was a student then. And then this woman discovered me, kept faith in me, supported me in prayer, supported me financially, supported me in advice to where I've got into. Her name is Reverend Priscilla Nanketia. Wow. She's the ICGC head pastor for Gbawi Eagles Temple. Wow. And interestingly, she's the mother of Manifest, the musician.
Manifest? So, rapper Manifest, your mother Manifest. I'll come and see you. I will talk to mommy. Wow. Yeah. Well, it's been amazing. It's been interesting talking. You see, like we always say, we don't just bring you only entertainment or sports or agriculture or something. But this time, we just think it's important that we also delve into the health and safety environment. And there was no better person to talk to today and to bring you such an, expository, informative gist when it comes to health and safety. You can always catch Edward Debrah on Instagram, Ed Consult, always on Instagram. A lot of things going out there, one way of putting out information. And I want to say thank you so much for opening your doors to us, for sharing this information. A lot of things we've learned, a lot of things we didn't know really going on. And he's spoken a lot. Catch more exclusives or about Ed Consult on his Instagram page, on their main page. And I think until next time, it's bye-bye. Thank you.